It is a story that began in 1850, as it is told, a story of a different time in Rochester, a story that no one could have envisioned would continue on after 175 years. It is a story of more than what a company sells, but what a company can be, a company focused on the people that drive its success, with one man whose vision is driven by values, belief, and faith. It is the story of Palmer Food Service, but more, how values impact all of us.
Well, my great-great-grandfather, Levi Palmer, started in the seafood business by going down and sighting the fish that came in at Charlotte Harbor. And what people don't realize is that in 1850, there was a thriving fishery out of Lake Ontario. And of course, you also may or may not realize there was no refrigeration other than black ice. So people shopped for their product every single day. So the boats would go out similarly to the boats that go out on the oceans. They would go out into the lake and they would harvest fish, freshwater fish. They'd bring it in, okay, and he would sight the fish, actually look at the fish, sight the fish like they do in the major ports now on the East Coast. And he would then arrange for it to go to the public market, which was called the center market. And that's how he got going. Now, to tell you a little family story that I haven't told a lot of people, we had a historian come in and do, a look back to be sure that we were being historically accurate with the family, because we always say we're the oldest family-owned and operated business in Rochester, New York. And we had always said it was like 1850. He came back 1849. So I talked to my dad, and my dad said, let's just keep it at 1850, we're going to round up. With the advent of transportation, fish started coming in from other areas. And then Clarence Birdseye developed frozen technology, or refrigeration frozen technology. Do you know what the first thing ever was that was frozen? A fish. What do you expect from a fishmonger? People went to the different places and ate different kinds of seafood and really liked what they had, and then they started asking for it. So the business went from being primarily a freshwater business, freshwater, fresh fish, to saltwater, with one exception. The number one item that we sold for years and years and years were what we call bulk oysters, oysters in the shell. And believe it or not, they would travel up the barge canal from, the beds on the coast, up the barge to Rochester, New York. They would actually be in their own muck, in mud, right? And they would arrive up, they would be totally all washed and cleaned and everything else, and then they'd be shucked. And it was a taste of the ocean. And it was literally from my great-great-grandfather to my grandfather's day, the number one item we sold were bulk oysters. Unbelievable. So we stayed a retailer, and we're still a retailer to this day, 175 years later. And part of the evolution of the company was when food service began. Now back then, it was hotels and boarding houses. Okay, so we would wholesale to them, and then restaurants. And we went from basically independent owned and operated restaurants and boarding houses and hotels and then schools and all this other kind of stuff. So wholesale took over the retail. So we always had the retail. We've always been in retail, but the wholesale got larger and larger and larger. But we stayed strictly in seafood until 1971. We joined a cooperative called Frosty Acre Brands and began buying other products that originally it was complement the fish fry or complement the seafood. But then as time went on, we began going into other areas, other frozen product, other dry product. So I came in the business in 1968, working part-time behind the counter. My first week at the store was Christmas week at 14 at 141 State Street. Make your next dish, Palmer Fish. Then I graduated from the university in 1975 and came full-time with the company. Back then, we were the largest seafood company in Rochester, New York. Everything was done out of Pindle Alley. Nobody knows where Pindle Alley is, but I do, okay? It's right near City Hall. And no loading docks, no nothing. Everything was done by hand. The director of marketing, when he first came with the company, sat down with me and said, "Tell me what this company's all about." I said, "It's really about people, product, and passion." Purpose came in because I think we all need purpose in our lives. So what's it mean? It means that we employ the best people, people that are dedicated to each other, to the business, to conducting themselves the way that they're supposed to conduct themselves. They care. We try to foster a culture of caring. Product. We believe we have the best products. We work very, very hard at product selection. We try to bring the kind of quality that we would take home ourselves. It's one of the lines I always use. Is it take home quality? Is it something you take home? Thirdly is passion. Well, what is life without passion? Right? I'm not stoic. The company isn't stoic. It's about being passionate, about caring, about looking forward to each day. It's about celebrating when we do things well, realizing when we could have done things better, making substantive changes, small changes. That's the one thing I love the changes. The changes just, I think they're great. I really do. And then lastly, it's purpose. You know, what we have comes from the Lord. He gives us everything. We're just stewards of it while we're here. And it's important for us to give back. And that creates purpose in our lives. I need a reason to get up in the morning. And I have a lot of reasons to get up in the morning right now.